Welcome. Today, this is gonna be like a different video from my usual shit posts. This is like an actual like rankings video. I'm going to rank the all the Earclax weapons based on whether or not they are either LGBTQ or LGBTQ phobic. I've been invested in this series for a long time now. I love all the weapons. I have a bunch of head canons for them. And I found this tier list. Weirdly enough, for some reason, like this one doesn't have a lance in it, so I'm just gonna. This horse basically means lance, and unarmed and boots are basically like they're basically the same thing. So boots just won't be included. Boots. It's gonna be this tier is gonna be called the boots tier. Oh my god, I can't. Why is it so hard to use? Okay, this is gonna be the boots tier, and I'm just not gonna count boots since I feel like it's just the same thing as unarmed, the same person. All right, let's go. Starting off with sword. I I'm pretty sure this is obvious, but sword is definitely more so on like on the non-binaries. I'd say they are. It's like I feel like they wouldn't align towards male or female, so I feel like they'd be a part of the community. Not an ally, but an actual part of the community. So yeah. And as for dagger, I, like this isn't another obvious one for me, but dagger is definitely like a young girl who's like really bratty and stuff, and she's always just like she's always like she spins around really fast, and she's always like during all her matches she's just screaming, being mad, and that was a strategy that worked at first, but then eventually all the other weapons just realize like, oh, I'm fighting like a 3-year old child. This will be easy, and she hasn't gotten a win in a long time because of this. Um, just because she's so young, I don't think she would hate the community, but I don't think she'd be an ally either. Um, mm, um, this is a tough one. I just think she wouldn't care. I think she has enough, especially since she at her young age, she wouldn't really understand what the community about or anything about it. So I would put her in doesn't care. Next up, spear. Ooh. Okay. Um, I think spear is definitely, this may be controversial, but I think spear is probably I think spear is probably a boy. Mm. But the question is, and I think spear is definitely like one of the people who's always there to support people. I think spear is one of the rather nicer characters, and he's not in it to win it. He's just here to have fun. His weapon, his strategy, his skills, they aren't like too overpowered, and they aren't too underpowered. But is he? I think he would be an ally. I don't think he would actually be. I don't think he would actually be LG. I think he would just be like an ally. Because I think he would be like a big ally, but I don't think he would actually be a part of the community. Hmm. Yeah, I think so. Next up, Bo. Okay, I think Bo is definitely like a girl. I think it's pretty obvious, but hmm. I've always viewed Bo as just like really annoying. Like I'm not sure that's just me, but I've always viewed Bo as like someone who's always talking shit towards everyone during her matches. Someone tries to go up to hit her, and then like she hits them with like 1,000 bows and stuff. But I don't think I don't think she'd be a part of the community. But I, hmm, I think she would talk smack a lot during her matches. and I think she would say some really hateful things, but not because she actually hates the community, more so just that she wants to talk smack just to talk smack without realizing the consequences. And I just think she doesn't care. She'll say anything just to annoy you or talk shit during a match, but I don't think she has anyone genuine hate for it. I think she just doesn't care about it at all. Okay, next up, Scythe. Ooh, okay, Scythe. Dang, Scythe. No, I've always viewed Scythe as like not having a gender, but not like in a non-binary sense, just like not having a gender, thinking he's above. Oh, I actually said he, but Scythe views. What do I call someone who doesn't who's above gender? I need like a new term for that. I'm gonna call it Psy. I think Psy views himself as above gender, and like Psy doesn't need it. So, but what is that? Like, what even is that? Like, that's would that? Oh my god, what happened there? Oh my god, because would that be a part of the community? Because Scythe doesn't like the concept of having a gender, but doesn't like the concept of it being a part of the LGBTQ community. So I feel like I feel like Scythe be an ally. I feel like Scythe would be an ally, but like Scythe can understand like someone like Sword, why Sword wouldn't want to have a gender, but Scythe just doesn't want to be a Scythe just doesn't view themselves as like this. Scythe just views themselves as their own other thing. Scythe gender or something. Okay, next up, Shield. Ooh, Shield. Ah, what was my headcanon? Oh, I remember. I forgot. I think I said Shield was non-binary. I think in my headcanon, and I always view Shield as someone who's scared during matches, but can overcome their fear. Like Shield can overcome their fear during matches by realizing that the other balls are basically their own worst enemy. Because if there's a because like for example, if there was a 1v1 between Sword and Shield, like they fight together. I mean, Shield, if Shield like rowdies up Sword enough, Shield can block Sword's attack, then like deflect damage on Sword, like reflect the damage back on Sword. So they're always I feel like Shield's always scared of who they are, but the more hits Shield's able to get in, the bigger and stronger Shields grows. And I feel like something like that, I feel like that would help Shield be able to come out as part of the community. And I really feel like Shield is um non-binary in a way. You know, we've only had NBs here, which we need more variety. There's not enough variety here. Next up, Unarmed. Okay, I don't know why there's not a pixel version of this one here. Unarmed. Okay. Okay. I've never had a clear stance for unarmed, so I might as well come up with one here. Like, unarmed used to be my favorite weapon, but over time he kind of, he didn't fall off. He just wasn't as cool to watch anymore. And I think I think unarmed is definitely a guy, and I feel like that's it. But I don't think he's an ally. That's all I'll say. I feel like he's a bit of a he's a bit rude during his matches. Whenever he's flying around and hits you like he's coming across the map, just he's coming across the map mid fight, hits you, then says you suck, then immediately goes to the other side of the map ready to get in another hit. Um, I can't tell which one would it be. I don't know why does it keep flicking. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. This is actually a really tough one. I feel like he's either stay away or hates it. Well, I feel like he would stay away because I don't think he would go out of his way to like attend like a like a hate rally or something. Because he would just come in, say a quick line, say "I hate you," then immediately go, then go away, just come back later in. Like how hyenas when a like a whenever like a lion is attacking one of the hyenas in the pack, they'll like come in, take little bites out of the lion, distracting the lion so the main hyena being attacked can like walk away. I feel like that would be unarmed. Next up, Scythe. They're just like, oh no, that's not Scythe. That's not Scythe. I messed up. Scepter. Yeah, Scepter. Like the most easiest person to put in this category. Their icon is pink. Their icon is pink. There's never been a more obvious choice before. Yeah, I definitely feel like they're probably gay. Like like not lesbian, gay. They're a guy who's gay. I think they also be like a demi boy, but that's just my opinion. But I definitely feel like I definitely feel like this is like a really easy choice to make. And I also feel like he talks a lot of smack during his matches. Like midway through a fight, he hits someone else, and then he says, "Oh, I took some of your health." Okay, okay. Surprisingly, not a lot in this section. Okay, whatever. Let's move on. Let's move on. Staff. I definitely feel like staff would be in this section. Like I feel like staff would identify as something, but I don't know what. Because I know like a bunch of like 'cause I view staff as like a wizard, and like that makes me think of Dungeons and Dragons, we kind of weird correlation, but that's just what it thinks of. And I know the Dungeons and Dragons community is very LGBT friendly, so that just makes me believe staff is definitely an ally or an actual part of the community. I feel like staff has some has like some wizardry unlocked and he can like do some powers. And I know like there are like gender transformation potions, so I feel like wizard has tested it out a bit. I feel like wizard would be gender fluid, like just like wizard can identify as anything at any time, and they like that. And I feel like I feel like though they would like they just like testing out what identity they like with it. I just feel like wizard would go in this section if it makes sense, like gender fluid. Okay. Okay. Shuriken. I think Shuriken is just like cisgender male, but this may. Mm, I feel like he'd be in. Hmm. I think he'd. I think he'd be in. I think he'd be in Stay Away, but doesn't actively hate it. Just because I feel like Shuriken's one of the older characters, and he doesn't really understand what the youngins are doing. And I wouldn't say he goes out of his way to hate them. He's just like confused and doesn't understand the community. You know, um, and just out of general misinformation online, um, he's gotten very, scared about it, and he views them as genuine. He views gay people as genuine demons. So that's what I think about Shuriken. But I think there is a possible character arc from the future to slowly turn into an ally, as he talks to more of the other weapons and realizes that they're not so different. And I think he'll grow to accept people like sword, shield, and staff. I don't think he would care about staff since staff is like mainly just gay. I think it's more of like the gender types he's scared of. Okay. Wrench. Ooh, wrench. Wrench. Okay. Dang, this was another one I never had like a really concrete answer for how they acted like. I always viewed Wrench as like one of the smarter characters, like Wrench is really cool to watch in action. If he's fighting a melee weapon, then it could be just over for the other weapons since the like how like if Wrench sets up like a barrier around him, what's the weapon supposed to do? Like he like the other weapon just can't hit Wrench. By the way, I think Wrench is a guy. So shit. Wrench is like what is Wrench? Okay. I think he'd be an ally. Yeah, no, he'd definitely be an ally. Cause he does a lot of work in like the mechanic fields and like does a lot of research and stuff. So I feel like he'd do his research about the community before actually judging it, and I feel like he'd actually grow to support them after just like doing 5 minutes of research and hearing about the stories and the struggles. And I feel like Wrench and Staff would be good friends, and learn. And through Staff, Wrench would learn more about like the struggles that people like Sword and Shield go through on a daily basis. Mainly Shield. I feel like Sword is more confident about their identity, but not Shield. I feel like that would really move Wrench in a way where they be supportive. All right. Oh, yes. Okay, Hammer. Hammer is absolutely my favorite weapon. No debate. I love every match Hammer is in. It's it's just it's Hammer is just good, man. It's just good. It's not too overpowered, not too underpowered. It's kind of like a mix of sword and dagger. Also not. Anyways, I've been saying this for years now. Bit of an exaggeration, but Hammer is a trans man. I've always viewed Hammer as that. I think it's fairly obvious, just from Hammer has the likeness of because Hammer is obviously the older brother of Dagger, and Hammer just like but Hammer always wanted to have a more how would I say this? I guess Hammer just wanted to have a less feminine associated attack like Dagger does. And that's when Hammer decided to come out as a man. And yeah, I just think I just think that's what Hammer is. Um, obviously this is a bit conflict of interest here, but like I said, like I said earlier, Dagger is still young. I think eventually she'll come around to accepting her brother for who he truly is. Man, there's still no one in this section yet. That'll change soon, I'm pretty sure. Katana. Okay. Hmm. Katana. I think Katana is definitely a girl, and she's around the same age as Shuriken because Shuriken and Katana are married. But I feel like she would be more understanding of the community since I feel like women generally are. But would she be an ally or would she not care? No, actually, no. She would definitely care. She's like she's like a motherly figure to a lot of characters. With her old age yet old but wise. I feel like she'd be. I feel like she'd take the time to learn about what it means to be who they are, and I definitely feel like she would be an ally. Okay, and Flask. So this one, okay, this is so obvious, and I think it might be the only character ever go in this section. But Flask is just a hater. Flask is just like the meanest character there. He hates everyone and everything. He doesn't care for any of them. He's just there to cause chaos, and he hates anyone who isn't him because he views himself as the number one character. If you are a Flash supporter, you're just genuinely a bad person because he's an absolute menace and just harasses people throughout every match, and he just never should have been added. He's genuinely like the scum of the earth. You know what? No, I'm just gonna. You know what I should call this section actually? Just Flask. Just Flask. What do I have this extra section for? I don't know. And finally, Lance. We didn't have an image for Lance, so we just used this horse. Um, well, Lance is definitely from an older time, like around the medieval ages. But Lance and Staff did exist at the same time, because wizards did exist around the medieval ages as well. So he was aware of like gender transformation, stuff like that. But at the same time, Lance was in a higher position of power. So letting his thoughts be known about this, and especially let his thoughts be known about that he supported this type of wizardry to the gender transformation wizardry, he would have been killed back in his day. So I'm actually going to make a new tier for this. And actually, I luckily have one right here. I would say he's a secret ally, but he has the trauma of seeing his comrades and people he knew and loved be killed over expressing their thoughts and emotions. So even in the modern day where this is more accepted, I feel like he'd still be scared to say that he supports this, but definitely considering who Staff is, he would definitely tell Horse that it's okay to it's okay to just be generally supportive of the LGBTQ community now. And yeah, that's my tier list. Boots doesn't matter. Anyways, just as a recap, these are our LGBTQ characters. These are the allies. Lance is our secret ally. Dagger and Bo just don't care about the community. Um, Unarmed and Shuriken actively stay away from it, and Flask just goes out of his way to just hate the community. And Boots is just unarmed, so you know what? Let's just put Boots there. Um, I just wanted to make this video because I'm autistically obsessed with the Earlacks Weapon Ball series. Um, I'm probably never gonna make another video like this again. I'll be like, okay, that's all. Bye.